Or wouldn't it be crazy if it turns out Macy's really the overlord? Hey guys, it's Kristen, and today we are talking about Season 2, Episode 3 of The Charmed Reboot. In this episode, we continue to follow, again, 3 separate storylines for each sister, with Maggie working on getting an assistant manager position at Safe Space, Mel and Harry actually working together to crack the Book of Elders, and Macy kind of doing her own thing, trying to save a witch in trouble. Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts on this new episode of Charmed. I cannot wait to hear what you think. So I think as we've kind of been seeing this season, to me, the first episode really blew things up. But after that, every episode since has really been the girls kind of each doing their own little thing, and they're not really working together as a sisterhood. I would love to see them join forces and work together more, but right now we've been following more individual storylines. And I have to say, Macy continues to be the one that has the more exciting one, to be honest. So in this episode, we really start to see the effects that Macy's dealing with as the only person in this, group with working powers. She's afraid to go to sleep because she keeps having dreams about Dark Harry. She feels like the other sisters can't really do much because they don't have any powers, and she's the one really kind of going out on her own trying to save the witches that are in trouble. In this episode, we get to meet a brand new witch named Abigail, played by Poppy Drayton, and she's a character that we've heard about, that has been teased that she's coming. She is definitely a very mysterious character that we just don't really know much about yet and can't really kind of peg, is she a good guy or a bad guy? And we realize Abigail is not just a witch, that there's something darker going on there when she tries to touch the Book of Elders and gets blown backwards. And this also happened to Macy, and it happens to the demon Callum. And I have to be honest, in this episode, some of the magical effects that went on, like throwing them away from the Book of Elders, or that demon that had the snake kind of tongue that attacked Macy and Abigail, ooh, I didn't think it was that good. I was like, what is this quality? I was expecting a lot more, especially since, this whole season we've been kind of being teased that, things are getting more epic, more cinematic, so I just was a little bit disappointed by the effects that were going on there. We find out that she's actually half witch, half demon, which I thought was really interesting because it makes me think, okay, we know that Macy is half demon because she was resurrected and this whole spell kind of turned her into a half demon, half witch hybrid, but this character of Abigail, her parents were having an affair, and one of her parents was a demon and one was a witch. So that makes me think, with these two different kind of sides of herself, is Abigail actually the overlord? She's someone that hasn't fit in the witch world and the demon world, and maybe she's trying to get rid of the witches and control the demons. And there's another scene where Macy and Abigail are locked in some magic-free cage so that they can't use their powers to get out. And I love that Macy used her science background to get them out. For me, that's how I would love to see Macy kind of bring her science back into the picture. Something like that where they can use her knowledge to escape somewhere or to help them in some way is better to me than them trying to be like, oh yeah, we can kill a demon with science. It's like, no, we're gonna use magic to kill a demon. In this episode, they make it look like a demon named Callum could be the overlord. I think at the end we kind of realize that it's definitely not him. But there's a scene where Macy and Abigail are fighting him off, and he stops and says to Abigail, "It's you, isn't it?" And to me, I'm like, that's another clue that she's the overlord. It's her, isn't it? It's her. So she's either the overlord or helping the overlord. Or wouldn't it be crazy if it turns out Macy's really the overlord and Abigail is there to sort of influence her and help her come into her overlord powers? That would be epic. Although I have to say, I still didn't really completely understand the ending of this episode, because we see Abigail try to attack Macy. Everything kind of stops and Abigail reveals that she also has been targeted by this Dark Harry, and then Macy kind of just stops trying to fight her off. And I'm just like, well, Abigail was gonna kill you, Macy, so what's the deal? And as we get kind of teased into the next episode, it looks like Abigail's gonna be kind of working together with the Charmed Ones. And this makes me think, are they working with her because they know that she knows something, but they're gonna keep her at arm's length because she could definitely be evil? Or is there even more to Abigail's character than we even understand? Maybe it goes beyond the Overlord. I would say the next kind of bigger storyline that was going on this episode was Mel and Harry, and I have to say it was actually really nice to see them working together because, at the very beginning of season 1, Mel Mel didn't really get along with Harry, and I think that it's a testament to like how much their relationship has grown to see them working together. And so they are trying to crack the Book of Elders. They don't really understand what's going on there. They discover that it has a sentinel, which is sort of like this person who is supposed to be protecting the book. And through this guided meditation with Katrina, they're able to go into this astral plane, so they kind of like astral project, in order to meet this sentinel and get some help, seeing if he can do anything about getting their powers back or even just help them with the book. What's really cool there is that was kind of our first look at this show's iteration of astral projecting. And the sentinel is played by Jeffery Blake, who played Strife in the Four Horsemen Apocalypse episode of the original Charmed. So that was like kind of cool. We're getting like double whammy references there. But now Harry and Mel, it looks like maybe the sentinel has helped them get their powers back. They're back in the real world, and it turns out it's all a test. And I have to say, the test doesn't really make much sense. You know, the elders we already knew are all about giving these weird tests to see, do the Charmed ones have what it takes, are they worthy? And in this situation, it was like they could choose to keep their powers, they could choose to help Katrina, and instead the solution that Mel comes up with is to just ignore both options and be like, wait a minute, I know this is a test, let me jump off of a roof with Harry to prove that I know that we're being tested. It just is weird to me that the elders set up this whole test where it's like choose this or choose this, and the actual answer is choose none of them, just show that you know it's a test, and you're all good. We also get to see Mel have a first kiss with Katrina in this astral plane, and to me I'm just thinking like, I really would rather see the sisters come together and join forces versus having individual storylines and individual love interests, which we have already seen them do, and to me was one of the weaker aspects of season 1. We're only on episode 3. I don't think that Katrina and Mel need to be in love right now. Like, maybe that's something that they can explore further down the line. But let the Charmed ones focus on like being in this witchness protection situation. What are their new identities gonna be? What are they gonna do for a living? Are they gonna be able to crack the Book of Elders? Are they gonna build the Book of Shadows back up? Are they gonna actually come together and get their powers back and work on saving these witches? I think that that's enough to focus on versus being like, let's add another love interest in. Although we did get a little bit of a hint that whatever was going on in this astral plane actually really did affect Katrina, because girl is still seeing worms and is terrified. After all this testing and whatnot, we do get a little bit of help from this sentinel. He gives them a cipher that will help them basically decipher the Book of Elders, and I think that's going to be really key in helping get their magical abilities back. And then I gotta say, I really like Maggie as a character, but I feel like they've been giving her these weird storylines where she has to like prove to her sisters that she can take on more responsibility by like getting a job. And I get that it gives them access to being in safe space, but I just feel like her storylines this season have been very anticlimactic, and again are very much focused around like Jordan, as if they're gonna open up him to be another love interest for her, when he just seems like a boring character to me and I don't really see the connection. I still have weird vibes about Jordan since we met him in the first episode and he gave Maggie such a hard time about using a first aid kit. Like, I don't know, there's just something about his character that rubs me the wrong way, and I don't really want to see him and Maggie together at all, and I'd be cool if they just like moved on from that storyline and had Maggie focus on something else. You know, if you're gonna have Jordan be in there, like start teaching her how to fight or something. So basically after this episode, I think what we've learned is that the assassin is definitely still out there. It looks like they're gonna go after him with Abigail's help in the next episode. The thing is though, like, can we trust Abigail? Then there's figuring out who is this overlord, what is the real situation going on here. You know, I think Abigail's definitely a contender up there. Dark Harry, maybe Macy. And the next episode is called Deconstructing Harry, so it's pretty clear we're gonna learn some type of secret about Harry, we're gonna learn more about his life, or something to that effect. So I'm really curious to see where that goes. I do think that they're teasing that Harry and Dark Harry are dual sides of each other, that they are connected in some way, like a yin-yang, and I think that's going to be really interesting to just learn exactly why this came about, and I'm hoping that's what we end up finding out in this next episode. To be honest, I do think that, yes, there are some interesting things going on this season. I think Macy by far has the strongest storyline out of everyone, but I'm feeling a little bit underwhelmed, and I'm hoping that as we start to piece things together and learn more, things will come together a bit more. And also, I'm hoping that the sisters will come together. They still don't have their powers yet, but they do have this cipher now to help them decode the Book of Elders, and I'm hoping that will lead them on their path to getting their powers back, being the charmed ones again, and saving more witches. If you like this video, you can check out more of my charmed reviews right over here. I'll catch you guys in my next video. See ya!